Sweet. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's another Monday. I got some Cody Francis going right now in the background. Gonna hang out for a little bit. Uh, talk about things, do things. Who knows? Who knows? Uh, but I kind of want to talk to you guys today about the little thing. I figured I found that a little ticker thing, so I got a ticker down there now. The Patreon that I've got is set up so that it helps get more equipment and gas to go to the interviews, but also any funds that are left over are going to go to get a piece of property so that I can start a berry farm and a campground there that will be just for YouTubers to come use. So they have a place to go. So if something like this happens again, people have a place to go that are YouTubers at least, and not be stuck out somewhere. So that's the plan with the funds that are left over from this. And thank you for the Daydream Raid. And hello everybody here today. Jerry Holly was popping in first. That's why I don't got no hair from last week. We got Jerry up there where he needs to be. And hello, meant to be RVing. You guys are always here. Nice to see you again. And hello, Susan from New Horizons. Hello, Lucky Dog Productions moderator. Hello. Hello, artist on the road. Hello, Scott Jacobs. Hello, Misty. Hello, Nursing Our Travel Bug. Hey, Daydream, thank you for the raid. Hey, RV Ashes. All the trips are here. If you guys haven't seen the trips, uh, a lot of you guys haven't seen them, go check their channel out. They're really awesome. They do food reviews. It's really entertaining stuff, and they have nice live streams as well. Hello, Pause and Effect. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Roy and Becky's Travels. Nice to see you guys as well this morning. And hello, our epic RV adventure. Hope you guys are all doing well. So, like I was saying, the plan for the Patreon is just to get better equipment for these interviews and gas, but also to have a YouTuber campground. So something like this happens, or again, or you guys just want to have a place to come to that is just a place where you can go hang out with other YouTubers or just to go to hang out. That's what it's going to be set up to be. So, well, thank you, Positive Effect. Thank you for shouting me out. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Anytime you guys do that, I really do appreciate it. And on that news, I was looking on my analytics, and I'm very excited because now it's starting to, because it's 1% right now, but my traffic's starting to just come from people typing in van life, and that pulls up my channel now. It's 1.2%, which I was trying to tell people that are on YouTube that that's a crazy thing to start happening, because it's just a generic term searching for me, but it's awesome. And I was talking to Daydream on his live the other day about a Blackstone grill. So I'm going to get a Blackstone grill, because then I don't need to carry an extra pan in here. I can just use the grill. So any items that I can that are multi-use items, that's the plan for in here. And I actually, and good morning, honey and me, I actually have, if you've heard of a ghost sun, they make an oven that you can put out in the sun. It's got mirrors and stuff that it uses to cook stuff with. And they're coming out with this little sink and water pump combo unit that uses solar power in it. It's also got like a shower attachment. So I signed up for that, and um, I don't know about the company yet. Uh, I want to see how it works, but I found a company where you can get in touch with people that are manufacturers of stuff, and try to get sponsor deals for your channel. So I'll see how that works first before I have you guys go in there and and sign up to use that service. But that's where GoSun sent me to sign up through. So hopefully it's pretty legitimate. But it's a cool sync that's going in here, and then I found a fortify unit for in here, the diesel heater for in here and stuff. I got to do all that. So all that's still coming. So by the time I take off and go on this trip, it's going to be a self-contained unit, even though it's going to be a short top van. So that'll be pretty cool. If you're, I've had a couple people ask me. I know Daydream, I think, asked me, and a couple other people asked me about music. And any of the descriptions in my video, there's a link for Epidemic Sound, and that's who I use for all my songs. There are some songs like Troubadour, um, and I sometimes ask other artists to use their music in my videos. So, with the exception of those ones, all the other songs you hear, like the ones you hear in the background right now, are all from Epidemic Sound. And it's 15 a month, but there's, I don't know, like 30,000, 40,000 songs. And there's also sound effects. There's like 50 or 60,000 sound effects. So even if you're not looking for music, but you want some better sound effects for your videos, they have those on there as well. But that's where all that comes from. And then I wanted to show you today because Amazon package teased me. They sent me an email yesterday saying all these packages were coming that I didn't expect yet, and so I'm waiting for them to come. I'm waiting for them to come, and it says, oh, it's going to be later by 9 p.m. And then 9 p.m. comes, and it's like, we don't know. And it says it's going to be here today. We'll see. But it's a light. It's like a 6-inch light. You're able to do bicolor on it or different colors as well as white, and you can adjust the Kelvin, which is the warmness and or like the redness and blueness of the white light. And it was only $50. So I've got that, and I've got a shotgun mic that I'm going to try instead of just like the lapel that I have here, which will be easier for shooting on the move. So I'm going to show. Thank you, JJ. Thank you. With you. It's going to be easier for shooting on the move, and it may sound a little bit better. So we'll see. The Blackstone that I found, though, on Amazon, it's a 17-inch. It's only $80. So when I looked at that, and then it's like 40 or $50 for a regular Coleman 2-burner stove, but then I still have to have the pan. So when you start thinking that stuff out, that's always what I do. Is it's just a habit of mine to figure out the cost effectiveness of things now instead of just their price by itself. Because I've bought a lot of cheap stuff my whole life, and sometimes I like to take a second and look and see, this may be a little more expensive, but maybe I need less items, or it'll last me longer, and it's worth the extra money. And there were supposed to be more tapestries, but I showed you guys last week, showed some of you guys here, but so all the walls right here are going to be tapestry. I've got another nature scene coming. I've got a cool one I'm going to do for the roof. They have different kinds. So if you're ever interested, you can. I found them on Amazon. So you can go on Amazon, type in tapestry, and it will bring up a lot of options. Not just like hippie tie-dye options. There's a lot of options. So, and good morning, Dorothy's Hobby Farm. Good morning. I haven't seen you in here before. Nice to see you. Welcome. Um, Speaking of which, I'm glad you came here because you reminded me to tell you guys. If you haven't seen it yet, and if you guys are if you're planning on staying where you're at for a while, even if you're not, by the way, and I'll tell you that in a second. Uh, Arkansas Woodcutter on his channel right now, he has a competition going. Some other people are trying to pick on him, saying that he can't grow and Americans can't grow things and stuff like that. So he's got a challenge going on called Shed Wars, and you can join Team Woodcutter. So I have a video coming out on that on Friday, but you get a little preview of things here on the live stream because my videos are. I make sure that I have a good stack up of them in case, like what happened to me last month, I get a little sick or something like that. I don't have to think about I got to get up and make a video. I have some ahead to have some time. But you just got to get something and grow something and do Team Woodcutter in your video. But I have put a herb garden in here. I made one out of a 5-gallon bucket and a couple of planters, and it's going to sit on the front seat because it's basically just like a greenhouse up there all the time. That's always going to be open. And so it's in there, buckled in up there, so I can pull it in and out, and I can dump water out. But when I water the planters, the water, any extra water, if it comes out the bottom, goes into the 5-gallon bucket, so it doesn't get in the van. So even I'm growing something, and I'm doing it inside a van. Probably the only I'd have to really look, but I don't think there's a I don't think I've seen an herb garden in a van built before. I might be wrong, but I don't think I have. So I've got that going too, because you know I want to get to where I have that berry farm and stuff like that. And if I set up the campground and berry farm, if I depending on where I do it, if I do it in Eastern Washington, well then in the wintertime I'll be taking the van down. So my house will be mobile, and then I'll have the farm to hang out at when it gets springtime. We'll see. Um, it's I've got insulation today that I'm going to be doing in the ribs that are in the van. There's little pieces up in here that I've got to do, and in the ribs and all that stuff before I do the other part. So that I'll be working on that today. But I don't know, KNR. I got to tell you about KNR Destination. I'm sitting there watching his video last night, and he did the quarantine question challenge. And he sits there and challenges me, and I go, okay, I'll do your challenge. And then he says, we'll see if you'll do my challenge. I don't know if he's looked. I have a playlist literally called challenges. So if you're curious after this, you can see I have a playlist called challenges, and I do the challenges. So I'm going to do his challenges. I got the questions written down. I'm going to be doing that video next. But I'm also doing my challenge video back to him, and it's going to be to the rest of you guys too. So, oh, that's nice. See, yeah, I'm not necessarily trying to be off grid with my farm either, but I'll have the tools to be able to do it. But it's not a forever thing to be in the van. It's a step to get to where I want to be. That's the way I look at it. But the challenge is going to go out to all you guys as well. I'm not going to call you out in the video, but I'm calling out KNR in the video, and I told him he's getting one back because of that. Because he said, I don't know, we'll see if you do it. We'll see. I'm growing an herb garden in here for Arkansas Woodcutter, for Team Woodcutter, and it wasn't even a challenge up to me, and I'm doing it. Man, some people, I tell you. Some people, I tell you. You have a great you too, Ryan, Becky. Thank you for coming in. Um, gonna do the challenge. Oh my goodness. I'm losing my train of thought here. So, oh, exciting, exciting news. Um, one of the interviews that I got, and let me explain how this is went. Okay, it started with the very first interview that agreed and made me go, maybe this could be something, was Cody Francis, who I play a lot here on this channel, and on the title um, sequence in my videos, that's his song called "It'll Be All Right." But he was the first one that agreed to one of the interviews. So um, I was like, okay, let me try it. Let me try to do more with this. Um, and as I've gotten somebody else to say okay to an interview, it's made me go, okay, well, I'll just ask. I'll ask this next person, because not because I'm scared of them saying no. I mean, that's the only thing. Um, oh, my granddad. Uh, that's the only thing somebody's going to say is no. But it's made me go less going scared of, well, they're going to say no, to going, maybe they'll say yes. And so, um, and on that part, I want to thank um, Jonathan, who has come in, and he saw my post on Facebook about my campaign with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and he contacted me and said, "Well, I can help you. You know, I have experience in this or that." And I said, "Okay," and thought about it for a while. And I've got him helping me out now, and I give a lot of credit to him. He's gotten me a lot of things set up. There's going to be radio press that I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be calling into a radio show as I go on the journey. There's print press, and then he also got me an interview with Paul Gauchi. And if you don't know who he is, when you're done with this, type in "Back to Eden Gardening" and Paul, and into your YouTube search bar, and just watch something about him and how awesome he is, and his gardening method and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to be interviewing him. I'm going to be going to his house and actually having dinner with him, and eating stuff out of his garden, and doing an interview with him. And he's here in Washington. He lives up in Sequim, but it's somebody that I never. It didn't seem like it was a possibility when I first started this. I thought maybe I'll get a few people involved. Um, maybe maybe it'll be this little thing or that little thing. And I have to tell you guys, I mean, um, and I'm not telling you these names to be like, oh, um, look at me or look at this. It's more of, I'm amazed that these people would want to be involved in it. Because if you look, it's not like I'm a big channel. So it's not like by them doing this, they're going to gain a lot of subscribers out of me. So it just, I don't know, it really warmed my heart talking to all these people. So it's really awesome what's been going on. I've got with Jonathan out there, he's been in the press business and all that kind of stuff. So he is way better at wording letters and information to ask people. So I've been asking YouTubers, asking, you guys around here in the community and all that kind of stuff, and talking with other YouTubers, and that's the extent of what I'm able to do. Just because of the people I know and all that kind of stuff. So that's about the extent of what I'm able to do. And I've gotten, um, Eric Nomadic Fanatic to do an interview. I'm working with other other YouTubers as well to get stuff set up from all over the spectrum. So not just travel channels. There's homesteading channels. Um, there's just a lot of other channels that are involved, and so it's um, it's really a how to put this. It's really an amazing thing that started to happen. So, but he's able to get out. He's able to get people that aren't YouTubers and know how to contact them and get that information. So it's been amazing because I've had somebody come and basically volunteer to work and help me get this set up with people and all that kind of stuff. And speaking of which, I want to thank Epic, if he's still in here, our Epic RV Adventure. Um, in his description of his video, he had it, and it was something that I was going to do anyway. But I'm just glad he has a link there so I could, help support his channel out. But I'm going to be going to Harvest Host on my journeys throughout the country. So because I'm not planning on staying, especially when I'm traveling over there to North Carolina to get to that event. I'm not going to be staying anywhere for a very long period of time. So I'm going to be using Harvest Host as I go along, um, because I'm also going to try to promote, not necessarily that they're a Harvest Host, but promote their business as I go along too. Because people, especially after all this, are going to need to get more business their way. So I'll be stopping in those and sharing the story of those as we go along too. But he had a link in there. It gives you a discount too when you join. It's like I think it's they have one with golf that you can get that are golf courses, but I don't have golf clubs, and I used to play golf, but I can't play golf anymore because my arms and back won't swing around like that. But I think it was like $64 for the year, and then you get a list and you call them and you stay for the night and all that kind of stuff. That's the other reason I'm getting the porta potty in here and the cooktop in here and the little sink, because one of the requirements is that you have a cooking facility and bathroom facility in the vehicle that you're staying in. So just so you know that if you're planning on doing a Harvest Host and doing it in a van, just know that you need to make sure you got those items in there so that you can comply with it. But I, sent them they sent an email saying, hey, if you have any questions or whatever, let us know. And I let them know that I was going to be staying, at Harvest House to go with my campaign and utilize it to my travel across the United States. Because I do have 1,000 trails, but here's the thing. I have the one zone, which most of the time, even if, let's say I don't get a property next year for some reason and it's the following year or whatever, basically in the summertime, a lot of the year, I'll probably be up in Washington, Oregon anyway because of the temperature. You don't want to be in super hot temperature inside a van anyway. So that's where I'll be. But I could add zones for the rest of it. But I'm also going across the middle of the country where there aren't 1,000 trails anyway. So again, cost effectiveness is a lot cheaper to add harvest health um, and use that for my journey, and then have my 1,000 trails in a place where I can maybe I want to spend you know a week or 2 weeks in this one, and then I can go run around in the van for a week to around state parks or whatever. Um, so it's more cost effective to do that than to have all the zones uh, when I may not even use that many over on the East Coast anyway. So again, cost effectiveness. Um, what I looked at, I had propane heat in the tent trailer, um, which if you don't know about that on this channel, we've been through, I did a garden tour, 527. So we're almost to a year on this channel of time, almost 1 year, which is crazy. Um, but my very first video was a garden tour that I had there at the mobile that we had. And then I had a motorhome that I tried to get going, um, and ran into troubles where I had to get rid of that, unfortunately. Then I was in a tent for a little while, and then a tent trailer, and I had a propane heater in there. So the propane heater, uh, I learned something with that. Why I don't want to go with it is because it wasn't as efficient, or it wasn't as efficient. It wasn't as efficient as I thought it may be, and it also puts off wet heat. So I'm getting the diesel heater in here, which they're not that expensive, and it's not that hard to install, but they're very efficient electrical wise, and it's dry heat instead of wet heat, which in Washington and being in a van are two very important things. I don't want to put more moisture into the air than I have to. So eventually I will get a roof vent, but again, it's one of those things. I'm going to do it in stages because I'm limited funds wise. But honestly, the more that you're in here, the more you're going to figure out what you do and don't want exactly. So I could think that I want an item in here and figure out how much space it's going to take, and then really sit here and think about it. Maybe put something that's like the item in there and see how much room it's going to take instead of just getting it. And same with putting a roof in on here. I'm going to put a roof in on here, but I really want to think about where do I want the roof in. Well, you know what I want to have before I think about where I want the roof in? I want to figure out where I'm going to put my cooktop most of the time, because I want to have my roof in near that. I don't care about it being in the center of the van and looking pretty. I care about it being functional. So if my cooktop sits over on the more on the side of the van, well, the air fan's going to go more on the side of the fan because I want it to be able to exhaust the steam out if I need to. And I guess that comes with me not. I like things that look pretty, but it's okay if they don't look pretty if they work. So I don't know. And by the way, the song right here that's playing right now, this is, you probably never guessed, but they're called Thyra, Thyra. You can look them up. And they're actually a Swedish couple. Yes, they're from Sweden. So um, I found that very interesting that not necessarily that they would play that type of music, but that even their accent when they sing is very Nashville country esque accent. So I found it very interesting. But I'll take you and show you guys where the herb garden's at, so you can see here. Because guess what? We can be mobile. So if you guys want to see anything on the outside here, or if you have any questions, let me know. And as you can see, yes, I have to bend over, but it's not that crazy of a deal to walk in here. Here is the herb garden. Oh, see again. There we go. There we go. There's the herb garden, guys. So there's oregano and basil growing in there. I planned on doing 4 different herbs, but guess what, guys? I'm gonna pop out here. Guess what? Most of the seeds were gone. I went in to get some seeds, and most of the garden seeds are gone. So there's a lot of people growing food. So this is where I'm at. I helped paint this house. Was it, I think, 10 years ago now? Yeah, it might have been 10. No. Shoot, 14 years ago now. Long time. But working on the campsite out back here because there's a fire pit there. You guys can kind of see where I've dug out here. Down here is just real deep in leaves and mulch and all that kind of stuff. Gonna get it cleared out and have like turnaround spot and camping spot and all that stuff. So that is the plan anyhow. So quiet out here. You can hear the birds and stuff. The lake, if you've seen any of my videos where I walk by and kind of show it, it's like straight back there. So if all those were cut down, you'd have a view of the lake. But like I said, you guys get a preview here. I got some new hubcaps for it for our stand here. So I've got that on there. They look pretty nice. I kind of painted the rings, but I had the paint can stem break on me. That was no fun at all. So I've got the hubcaps on there. And the heater core has been bypassed for now. And what I'm going to do is when I get the diesel heater, which on the outside I'll show you, sits about here on the van wide. I'm going to be running thank you, Crystal. I'm going to be running a vent up to the front here, up to where the box used to be, and the flap that opens to go to let the air into the defrost. I'm going to have that going because I can run the diesel heater when the car's running, and it's going to be not welded in, but it's going to come out the same place that the gas exhaust does now. That's the plan with that. Oh, but I'll tell you, this van. I mean, I know people. I'm going to go talk to one actually. If you hold on, guys, I got the tripod legs out, so I got to swing you around stuff when I get back in here. There are people And let me tell you, I wouldn't do it because after being in here, other than the low top, there's a ton of room in here. I mean, I'm sitting, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm sitting in a like a chair you'd have in your living room, basically. Um, it's one of those ones that has arms and stuff like that, and you can normally swivel. The swivel piece is gone off the bottom, but it lowers it enough that I have a ton of headroom sitting in here. Um, and then it's just a old computer desk. That's basically that's basically what I use in the corner here. So I have a computer desk and then a twin bed up there, and I have this giant hallway. So I'm also living here by myself, and I don't have very much stuff. So if I had another person in here, I'd probably have to have more storage stuff, and oh, I would have to have more storage stuff, but that's going to take up more space too. But I was going to say, I've seen people doing this in a minivan. I can do this in a minivan. There's no way I could live in it all the time in a minivan. This one, if it's a hello Jelly Duck, I haven't seen. Oh, I have seen you, but um, nice to see you pop it in here. Um, if I were to be in a minivan, I couldn't, and it was raining out all day. Well, you're basically laying in bed all day in a minivan. It's basically all there is room for. You can do some other stuff, but for the most part, it's pretty much bed. And you have stuff around you, but you're when you're in there, you're pretty much on your bed. This one, I can be on my bed, or I can come sit over here. Um, I watch YouTube. Um, I have Hulu too, by the way, that I'll click over to, like if I want to watch a movie or something. But I have the very basic plan, which is $6.50 a month. So if you want to have something besides YouTube, um, just a basic version. Good morning, Armchair Wanderer. Good morning. Thank you, sir. Um, and that reminds me too, because that reminds me of the other thing I have coming, which I'll tell you in a second. Uh, but I can come over here and I can sit down and I can watch TV. Now, you're going, okay, well, you talked about a porta potty and a sink and all that stuff. Well, the desk has enough room for me to have that little sink and the cooktop. But underneath the desk, um, there's enough room for me to slide the porta potty in there. There's enough room for me to start building my little cabinet that's going to house my power stuff in there. So, and I've had my roommates that I had in there come out because at first they're like, "Oh, you're going to go live in it or whatever." And now that I have it set up in here like this, and especially with that tapestry, like I said, I could paint the walls white. And yes, white is an expanding color, but the white wall being that far from your head doesn't seem that far. When you get to look at something like this, you roll out of bed and you look at that, you look like you're already outside. Makes I don't know, makes me have a lot happier morning to open my eyes and look at that. Even if I was in a house, honestly, but to open my eyes and look at that, then to look at a white wall. Um, so the package that's coming today, besides the camera stuff, like I talked about, that I'm getting, which will hopefully improve the quality. And I really needed a light, especially for in here, because the light's not going to be good inside the van. So I want to get a good light. I've got, like I said, I want, if you guys haven't seen other van life channels, especially some of the fancy builds people really overthink stuff. If I ask you, what's the easiest way to stick something to metal, somebody might come up with the answer. I hope some people do, but the easiest way is just like when you put something on your refrigerator with a magnet. So I've got a bunch of magnets coming that'll hold the tapestry in place. And then if the tapestry gets, I don't know, gets dirty, or if I need to access something in the wall or run a wire, I can just take the magnet off and do it, and then put the tapestry back up. Because they talk about it all the time, and you watch the videos. Oh, you need to be able to have access to this and access to that, and you do. Well, if you make your walls a tapestry or a fabric or something like that, first of all, you can um, put it up and down, take it off the walls if it gets dirty. You know, you let's say I'm cooking in here and something spills, and it's a normal wall. Guess what? Now I gotta sit there and scrub it off. With this wall, well, I will start to look at my insulation for a couple of days till I can get to the laundromat, but I can wash my wall with my dirty laundry. I mean, I'm only gonna be doing laundry anyway, so it's not even that big a deal. Or if it starts to feel like it smells, I can freshen up all the walls. It's about simple, and it's the same thing with me going out and doing, wanting to have a little homestead with some chickens or a little farm. Hello, Bob and Tams. Nice to see you guys. Um, to have some chickens and stuff like that is to live simple. Like I was saying, the van eventually, I can spend a bunch of money building this van out, but eventually the plan for this van is, even if I get another, maybe I'll get another van and build a nicer van out. But this van already has a lot of corrosion and stuff. This is going to be the farm van. This is going to get filled up with compost and wood chips and all that kind of stuff at some point in its future. That's the future of this van. So I don't want to spend a bunch of money on stuff inside of it, and being able to take these tapestries. They're not that expensive, by the way. Tapestries like 20 to 40 bucks, and they're huge. I mean, this covers a lot of this wall. Um, so when you look at that, it's cheaper than wood covering too, and that's by paint and all that kind of stuff. But it's about thinking about doing things simply and spending money in the right way. If this hasn't taught you anything else, it should make you rethink what you're prioritizing spending your time and money on. I know we all want to get everything back open. Heck, I'd like to get everything back open too. I got to still do some stuff on this, but if things were more open, I'd go more places too. But take the time to really think about what you want to do in life now, you know, and think if you really want to go back to what you were doing, or do you want to try and take a chance and do what you wanted to do your whole life now? Because everything's already messed up anyway, as far as economy goes and all that stuff. Start thinking about what you really want to do. If what you were doing is already what you really want to do, awesome, keep doing it. But think, do I really want to live where I'm living? Do I really want to be with this person that I'm with? Do I really want to be in doing the things that I'm doing? And really sit and think about it. I mean, really sit and think about it. Because it can, like you've seen, and I've tried to tell people that, life can change like that. My dad, I talked to him the night before, was gone the next morning. I only say that because that's how fast life can change from what you thought things were going to be to what they end up being. And so if you're not happy with what you're doing right now, why are you doing it? Because you can't tell me you're doing it for money now when a lot of people can't even work, right? So don't do things for money, right? I'm doing this because I enjoy hanging out with you guys and all that kind of stuff. If something ever happens with it, awesome. I'm going to take opportunities to try and make some money off of YouTube. Or if I don't make money off of YouTube, I don't have the physical capabilities to do physical labor for work anymore. But maybe by doing all these videos, maybe somebody wants me to do a commercial for them. Maybe I can do that kind of stuff. So that's what that's the way I'm looking at things. You know, I enjoyed, and I'll tell you that I enjoyed the traveling of being a truck driver, but I didn't enjoy being told where to go as a truck driver or how fast to go. And I missed so much stuff being a truck driver that I just got to see from the road. Part of the reason why I'm going on one huge last, at least for right now in my mind, one last long, super long trip around the United States because I want to stop and see that cool little burger stand or that awesome statue that's over there or that's a cool sign. And when you're in a semi truck, heck, I'll tell you this, even towing that tent trailer, you can really pull in some spots because it's not that hard to get, um, or it's hard to get in and out when you're towing a little trailer behind you. And so the van's going to be, it's about the biggest van that you can get that parks in a regular spot. Um, but I'm going to be able to stop and see those things now. And so just to give you an idea of the pace I'm going to be going at, I decided I'm going to start off at the start of September to be over there for the meetup in North Carolina, and I paced it out at a pace of 50 miles per day. Because guess what? I can almost bet you, and this is from all those years driving, within 50 miles from where you start, there's probably going to be something at least interesting enough to shoot or stop and see or experience. So I want to go and do that and experience things at a slower pace. It also gives me time to stop and do interviews with people, gives me time um, in case something happens where I can do more miles in a day. Or sometimes if I want to do less miles in a day and I have a longer day in the future. But that's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm going at that pace. So it's really it's really interesting to plan things at a pace that doesn't involve getting there as quick as possible. So maybe I got an idea, guys. I got an idea. This, and this is an interesting idea. Next time you go out to the grocery store to get groceries while we're all doing this, I want you to go on um, your GPS and see how long it is to get there, and then I want you to double the distance. So if it's like 2 miles to the grocery store, make a 4 mile route and make you go a different way than you normally take there. So if you normally go down this A Street and then you take a left on First Avenue, go down a different street and a different avenue. Because you might see something cool that you didn't notice before or never saw before. And so that's a way to right now go explore without even necessarily breaking any of your rules if you can't go anywhere. It's little stuff like that. Little stuff like that that can change your perspective for the day or for the week. You know, you never know what's going to happen. But if you go in your same routine all the time, you're probably going to get the same outcome. If you hate going to work every day and it really makes you mad, well, guess what? Going to work every day at that job isn't going to make you all of a sudden happy. Hello, Charapart. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, and that's the other thing that's coming in the package today. I found a USB rechargeable, so I can recharge it with USB. So one less thing that I have to worry about having an inverter for, which is another thing. As many items as you can that are don't require to have an inverter, don't require AC power, can be powered by DC and recharged by DC. Better off you are. But it's a trimmer, um, beard trimmer and stuff. So I'll be able to keep this all trimmed up and all that stuff and recharge it with USB. And when you have the beard trimmer, I can keep things nice and short, and I don't have to worry about water for shaving and all that kind of stuff. Again, you gotta you gotta think not as not as you would in a house. Like, what items do I need to have that I have right now? Think of a different way that you can accomplish the same task, right? Because if you want to keep things shaved down, well, you can use a razor or you can get a beard trimmer that can be recharged. And if it cuts really close, you know, some people want absolutely skin smooth when they shave, but like I said, you have to start thinking. Especially if you want to do this, you have to start thinking outside the box to be inside the box. How about that? Because you're inside a box here, but you have to think outside the box if you want to be successful living inside the box. You can't. You if you come into this saying, I want to plug in my coffee pot every morning and have coffee brewing, which, guess what? You can use. There's a thing called a percolator, and you can get one of those and do it on a burner. But I digress. If you want to do that, and you want to have all these items plug in, well, it's is it possible? Sure, but you're going to spend a lot of money doing it to maintain a lifestyle that that is very hard to maintain inside of a van. I mean, that's just a fact of it. Hello, Gina. Hello. Um, Speaking of which, if you want uh, Gina, Van Life with Gina Payne here, she lives in that van right there, her little logo. It's a step van. She lives in that van. So if you want to see she's farther along in van life. So her van's more put together. She's got other stuff she's getting. Like she's got a dustbuster that she's using. I don't know if it's dustbuster brand, but that I'm going to be getting for mine. But so if you want to see how it is to be farther along with stuff that you have for your van and items and all that stuff, check out her channel. And she's really awesome. She's a really sweet person. All that. So, and what I'll tell you what I found, guys, is a lot of the besides just the RV community, a lot of the van channels are very nice as well. And I think it's because by necessity, you know, you can if you're a mean person that lives in a van, and you're a jerk, well, maybe it's not your van not being stealth that you're getting the knocks on your door of your van from the cops if you're parked somewhere. Maybe it's because of you. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, see, percolator coffee every morning. Yeah. I mean, and this is why I try to tell people that are in in the RV community or van community to go check out homestead channels and off-grid channels, because guess what? Items that they use there, especially ones that don't require electricity, you can use in your van. So that's, it really it really amazes me that, and I don't mind putting out videos of how I'm doing my van and stuff like that. I just would hate if somebody does what I do and then something happens or whatever. But I'm building my van is going to be, let's call it phase one, because it'll never be complete. Vans are never done. I'll probably want to add this or that eventually. But phase one with the solar, um, and that sink thing I was talking about, the Blackstone and all that stuff is going to be under $1,500. Now I'm putting, between the cost of the van, the mechanical stuff, and all that stuff, that's going to be more money. But I'm not going to include that in the cost of the build, because you might have a van that's nice. I'm just talking about the items to build it, how I'm building it, which will give you a nice basic thing with electricity, a sink, a bathroom, a cooktop. I mean, you'll basically have a mini RV, um, and way to live and all that stuff. So, you know, next week, how about I do this next week? If you guys could, anybody that watches this or whatever, leave me some questions in the comments, on this live stream, um, when it pops back up, or any of my videos, over the next week. Leave me some questions that you want to know, what my plans are, or questions about me, or anything like that, um, in some comments, and I will answer those in next Monday's video. So if you want to know, how are you going to take care of showering, or take care of your trash or whatever, then ask you. Oh yeah, please do the thumbs up below. But ask your questions, because I'd love to answer any questions that you have about what I'm going to do, or if you want to know more people that I'm going to interview, or anything like that. And like I said, if you haven't, type in "back to Eden gardening," um, in your search bar at some point today, and take a look at Paul Gauchi. And um, he's a guy with disabilities, and he's still out there, and he's got a very beautiful, very large garden, and he's a very inspiring individual. So I think I'll let you. Oh, that's yours. I'm gonna go with one that's got a tank on it. Um, so I'm just gonna go buy dump sites and stuff like that, and probably won't be using it very often. I'll only use it if I absolutely have to. So it's one that's got a tank on it and built-in top and all that stuff. So, um, but it's only like $75 for the toilet one with the tank. So it's not even that much. But that's another option as well. So it's called Lugabaloo. It's basically a 5-gallon bucket, and it's got like a toilet seat thing built onto the top of it, and you use liner. But you know, if you guys, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm doing, building out as I go. Um, that's it for today, guys. Um, we'll pop off here, and I'll see you around our live streams. Thank you for coming in. Like I said, if you have any questions next week, please leave them in some comments, and I will get to them and answer them next week. Come over on Wednesday at Rants with Rogers, RANTS with Rogers. I'll be doing an interview over there about van life on Wednesday. Thanks, guys. See you next week for the live, and the rest of the week for the videos.